Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's BrainBean, and I am really excited to be bringing you guys my first look and review of Cooler Master's new flagship keyboard, the Cooler Master MasterKeys MK750 mechanical gaming keyboard. And of course, you guys know that I love giving back to you. I'm a little bit crazy in that way, so I'm going to be doing another giveaway for this keyboard, and I'll have all the details on that at the end of the video. But for now, I'm really excited to dive into this new keyboard, so let's just go ahead and take a look at this thing. Ah, what a time to be a PC gamer. Just when you think a company has cornered the market with the newest must-have keyboard, a different company comes out and one-ups them. Competition is an amazing thing for us consumers. It forces companies to deliver better products and more competitive prices, and every once in a while you get a company that just comes out swinging for the fences. Cooler Master has made some serious strides to their peripherals over the last year or two, and they certainly show no signs of slowing down by taking user feedback to heart and improving with every new release. With this in mind, let's start by looking at the construction and design of the new MasterKeys MK750. The Cooler Master MK750 is a 104 key mechanical gaming keyboard with an exposed switch design. It's comprised of an anodized aluminum metal backplate mounted over a plastic casing. The MK750 has a nice minimalistic design, meaning that it won't take up any more space on your desk than is necessary, and it's void of any over-obnoxious branding. The anodized aluminum backplate is done up in a matte finish, meaning that you won't have to worry about it accumulating nasty-looking fingerprints. The keyboard feels solid and gives you an immediate feeling of quality right out of the box. That said, it is a little bit lighter than I was anticipating, and when mashing down on the center of the board, I was able to make the keyboard flex a little bit. The MK750 uses Cherry MX Rgb switches, so naturally you can expect the great-looking per-key RGB backlighting that we've come to expect from Cherry. But what really makes the difference is the software. Luckily, Cooler Master understands this and has rolled out a completely new lighting software for this keyboard, and I've also been told that they will also be releasing the new software for some of their older models as well in the future. The new software is clean and has an intuitive interface. You can save up to 4 custom profiles, edit key mapping, record macros, and select a plethora of nice looking presets. The version of the software that I got to test prior to release did not have the custom layering of effects implemented yet, but I have been assured that it's coming by launch. The presets, however, that I did get to use are really good. Some of my favorites include the ever popular RGB color wave, the reactive fade, and I like this one because it automatically has you select a background color and then a reactive color. There's too many softwares out there that simply just have the keyboard go dark when you select the reactive and then force you to create your own multi-layer effect to be able to do this. So good on you, Cooler Master, for making it so much more easy for us. There's also a twinkling star effect that also has the background color setting. Although I would have liked to have seen an RGB option added for this preset, hopefully they'll add it in the future. On top of that, there are 7 other presets that all look pretty good, but most of them are your standard variety that you've seen before. In its current state, the software is pretty good. It's certainly better than a lot of other options out there. The only issue that I have with it is that it does take a few seconds to switch between profiles. Keep in mind though that it is still being updated quite frequently leading up to release, but currently it's not quite up to the level of Razer Synapse or Corsair's Q. To accentuate the lighting, the MK750 also has 3 light bars to provide some nice accent lighting to the board. There's a light bar on either side and a large one that runs the entire length of the front of the board with the Cooler Master logo splitting the center, although it's kind of like a half logo, so again I can appreciate the subtle but non-intrusive branding. The light bars provide a nice bit of flash to an otherwise plain looking keyboard, but what I appreciate is that they aren't overly bright and in your face. The light bars can also be controlled individually in the software for full customization. The keycaps on the MK750 are made of ABS plastic and use a nice clean minimalistic font. The keycaps are nice and smooth, which I personally prefer over textured keycaps, however they will show some fingerprints. All of the keys are nicely illuminated, including all of the secondary characters, which you guys know by now is one of my favorite things to find. Keeping with the minimalistic design, the LED indicators are integrated into their respective keys. Now, sometimes I find this bothersome, as having an unlit key in the middle of a light effect can be a little bit distracting, but at least to their credit, they don't light up in just simply white when active, because that just drives me crazy. The MK750 uses Cherry MX switches like I mentioned earlier. You can get it in either blue, brown, or red switches. Cherry MX switches are of course the industry standard for quality and offer a lifespan of 50 million keystrokes. Cherry MX Rgb switches also feature clear switch casings to allow for the light to completely permeate the switch, which really accentuates that floating key design and lets those lights pop. I got my MK750 with Cherry MX blues, and as it just wouldn't be a Brain Bean review without it, here is a quick sound test. Now, I've talked about the minimalistic design of the MK750, but despite what you might think, up until this point, the keyboard comes with quite a hefty amount of features. To start, the MK750 comes with a magnetic detachable wrist rest. The wrist rest includes a soft pillowy top that's wrapped in a very smooth feeling faux leather with the Cooler Master logo embossed in the center. The magnets are strong enough to keep it in place during use, however, the wrist rest does have a hard time staying on when you pick the keyboard up off the desk. Another gripe that I have is that when the wrist rest is on, it completely covers up the front light bar, which is kind of a bummer. Also included with the MK750 is a set of double-shot PBT keycaps. And if you're unfamiliar with the difference between ABS and PBT, all you really need to know is that PBT is a much more premium plastic that is incredibly stain and fade resistant. The keycaps are a nice rich purple, and they have a pleasing smooth texture to them. They give you a set of WASD, arrow keys, and an escape key. It's a really nice inclusion, although instead of the arrow keys, I would have liked to have seen some keys more geared to MOBA players. And lastly, you do get a wired keycap puller. Now this is the first wired keycap puller that I've ever seen included with the keyboard. Wired keycap pullers are much better than the standard plastic ones because they don't scratch up the sides of your keycaps like the cheap ones do. And as if all of those goodies weren't enough, the keyboard also has dedicated RGB capable media keys, full N key rollover, and on-the-fly macro and LED controls. As you guys can see, the MK750 is practically bursting with extras. The only thing that I wish it had was some dedicated macro keys. Now maybe this is just my inner MMO player whining, but I always love to see some macro keys on my gaming keyboards. Also, USB pass-through is always nice, but I personally don't find myself using it that much anyways. The underside of the keyboard has 4 rubberized pads, while the wrist rest has 6 of its own to ensure the keyboard stays in place during use. There's also a cable routing system integrated into the bottom of the board to keep your cables looking a little bit cleaner on your desk. The MK750 uses a detachable braided USB Type-C cable. I like having removable cables as it helps prevent damage to the keyboard and makes it a little bit more convenient for taking the keyboard on the go. Overall, the MK750 is a huge step in the right direction for Cooler Master. Clearly, whoever's calling the shots designing their keyboards is paying attention to what we want to see. It's not the perfect keyboard, but it's certainly getting close. I really would have loved seeing a row of macro keys, and I don't particularly like the way the wrist rest covers up the light bar. If it seems like I'm being a little bit overly picky here, well, that's my job. I also think the software could be a bit better to be more competitive, but again, I did not get to review the finished software, which is still being continuously updated. All minor gripes aside, the 750 gets so much right. From its use of Cherry MX switches to the accenting light bars, the keyboard just oozes quality. And when you consider the great extras that you get in the box, like the wrist rest and the PBT keycaps, it's clear that Cooler Master isn't messing around with their new flagship keyboard. At $159.99, the MK750 is right in line with other flagship keyboards in terms of price, and rightfully so in my opinion. It checks all the right boxes, which makes it very easy for me to recommend. Well, that's it for the review, guys. Let me know in those comments down below what you think about Cooler Master's newest flagship keyboard. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I am going to be giving one of these away to one of my subscribers. So make sure you're subscribed, and all you have to do to be eligible is just like this video to show your support and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you think about the keyboard, and I will have you entered in the giveaway. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with giveaways and also what's going on with the channel. But anyways, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.